Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Economics Simplified with Miss Ellen. Today we are looking at factors of production. Remember what to do. You subscribe to the channel, you like, you share, and please make sure to leave a comment. We are looking at factors of production. This is the part one. Let's move. Now, we know that before an output, which is the goods will be produced, there should be an input. So input will give us an output. Now, we have two types of input. We have what is known as the variable input and we have the fixed input. An example of a variable input is labor. And then that of the fixed input, we have land or capital. So when you combine these two inputs together, you are getting an output. Now let's look at the definition for factors of production. We define it as the resources which are combined together to produce goods and services. In other words, they are the inputs when combined together gives us an output or goods and services. Now the factors of production, they are also known as input of production or agents of production or means of production. This is for the sake of objectives. Now let's move to types of factors of production. We have basically four types of factors of production. So let's see the types. The first is known as land. Then we have labor, capital, and entrepreneurship, which is also known as enterprise. So these are the four types of factors of production. So what we are going to do is we are going to take them one after the other, know what they are, that is, know how to define them, know their characteristics, know their types, and then know their importance. So we take the first one, which is land. So we look at land as a factor of production. Let's define what land is. Land is simply the free gift of nature that contributes to production to satisfy human wants. They are the free gift of nature that contributes to production to satisfy human wants. In other words, land is a natural resource. When we say something is a natural resource, it means man did nothing to bring it into existence. We came to the world meeting land. So it is a free gift which is given to us for us to what? Use to produce goods and services to satisfy our human wants. Now let's look at some of the examples or some of the forms of land. A typical example, we have forest resource. Example of a forest resource, we have trees or herbs. So a forest is also an example or a form of land. Then we have the water bodies. Examples of water bodies, we have the rivers, we have the lakes, we have the seas. So that is the second example or form of land. Then we have that of the mineral resources, which is also known as mineral deposits. A typical example, we have the crude oil, we have the gold, and then we have the bauxite. So mineral resource is also an example of land. Then finally, we have mountains, as you can see on your screen. So mountain is also an example of land. Now let's look at the characteristics of land or the features of land. One is that it is a free gift of nature. When we say land is a free gift of nature, what it means is man did absolutely nothing to bring land into existence. As I said, we were born into land, and then obviously we'll leave not taking the land because it is not ours. It is a free gift of nature which is given to us by God. Then the second characteristic is that it is geographically immobile but occupationally mobile. When we say something is immobile, it means it cannot move, it is fixed. Whilst when we say something is mobile, it means you can move it. So to say that land is geographically immobile, and then let's explain what geography is. That is, we are talking about location or what, a place. So to say that land is geographically immobile, it means that land cannot be moved from one place to the other. A typical example is a land in Ghana cannot be moved to let's say Nigeria. There is no way you can leave or move your land which you have in Ghana to a different country, that is what, Nigeria. So we say that land is geographically immobile. Then to say that land is occupationally mobile, it means that the land in Ghana, you can use it for either construction or building of schools or building of what, hospitals. The same land which is in Nigeria can equally be used for the same construction, the same building of schools, the same building of what, hospital. So that is to say land is occupationally mobile. Then the third characteristic is that land is fixed in supply. Land is fixed in supply, meaning that the quantity of land or the size of the land cannot be increased nor decreased. An example is you having, let's say, 1 acre of land, and then you leave it for about 10 years to come, and then you go to that same land, you realize that you will still have your 1 acre. The 1 acre wouldn't increase in size, or it's neither will it decrease in size, but then it is fixed. That is what, the quantity of land or the size of the land. But then what can either increase or decrease in land is the yield of the land, or the productivity coming from the land, or the fertility of the land. So we say that land can either increase or decrease pertaining to the yield that comes out of it, but not the size of the land itself. Then we have land is subject to the law of diminishing marginal return. Land is subject to the law of diminishing marginal return. To say this, let's define what the law of diminishing marginal return is. The law states that all other things being equal, as more and more of a variable factor, which is labor, it's added to work on a fixed factor, which is land, the marginal product of the variable factor initially increases and then eventually falls. Now let's explain this law and then how it occurs on land. When you start production initially, you realize that you have plenty land, but then few laborers working on the piece of land. Now, as it is an initial state, means that your marginal productivity or your productivity will be increasing or will be more. Then it will get to a time that land will be exactly equal to labor. So as a rational producer, this is where you need to end production, or this is where you need to stop employing what, more labor. Why? Because land is exactly equal to the labor. Now, if you want to increase your productivity, as I said, it is not advisable at this stage to increase your labor. Why? Because if you increase your labor, since the land, it's there is no land for your laborers to come and work with, instead of you getting more marginal product, it will rather give you a negative marginal product, or this is where we say that productivity will fall. Why? Because you are employing more labor, but then the laborers, instead of adding more to your marginal product, will be adding more to your marginal cost. In other words, you've employed them, but then they are not working, or they don't have any land to work with, but then you are still going to pay these people. So as I said, they are rather adding more to your marginal cost than to your marginal product. So we are saying that land is subject to the law of diminishing marginal return. Then finally, the reward of land is rent or royalty. With this, they usually ask in the objective that what is the reward of land? Know that the reward of land is rent or royalties. Now we look at the importance of land. The importance of land. The first is that land provides raw materials to feed the industries. Example of a raw material which is produced by land, we have the timber, we have gold, we have tomatoes, we have the onion. They are all raw materials which are produced to feed our industries or the secondary sector. Then it serves as a place for constructing important infrastructure. Example is the road, the dams, the bridges. We don't construct road in the air or dams in the air, but then they are constructed on land. Then it provides employment. A typical provision of employment coming from land, we have that of farming, we have that of fishing, we have mining, we have hunting. So all this, it's the employment we are getting from land. Then it provides food. So an example of food, we have that of tomatoes, we have pepper, we have onion, we have cassava, plantain. These are the food we are getting from land. Then it provides foreign exchange. We get the foreign exchange from land through the exportation of the agricultural products such as the cassava, the plantain, the cocoa, the coffee, and then that of the mineral deposits such as what exportation of the gold, exportation of the bauxite, the crude oil. Then in return, that country which we are exporting into will give us their foreign currency or foreign exchange. So these are the importance of land. We are ending the lesson here. Please remember to subscribe to my channel. You like, you share, and then you leave a comment. My next video will talk about capital as a factor of production. Thank you very much and have a great day.